A KSLSports.com presentation. Game Night Live kicks off now. Presented by University Federal Credit Union.
We are blessed and grateful to kick off another season of Game Night Live on KSL. JJ and Sam with you for the next half hour, bringing you the best highlights from week one of the 2020 Utah high school football season.
Yeah, what an opening week it was, too. We saw some stunning upsets, incredible plays, and standout individual performances along the way.
We also had a double overtime game in Southern Utah, so that's where we have to begin, right? It's hard enough to take over as head coach of a high school football program. Imagine doing it during a pandemic.
Yeah, that's the challenge for Dustin Smith, who is now the new head coach at Spanish Fork.
Now the Dons on the road taking on the Cedar Reds. Let's go straight to the final minute. Tied at 14, Cedar running back Seth Brinkerhoff takes it inside the 10. Now it's set up a game-winning field goal attempt for the Reds. But the kick is blocked. The Dons come up big, and that sends this game to overtime. Spanish Fork would get the ball first. Jason Reed, handoff. Trucks his way into the end zone to give the Dons a 21-14 lead. Cedar needs to answer. Colby White. This is clutch. Oh, makes a diving catch in the end zone. The extra point is good, so you know what that means. Let's go double overtime. Cedar with the ball first this time. Jaron Garrett to Jack Cook. It's a 9-yard touchdown. The extra point good. So now Spanish Fork has their turn to answer. First play of the drive, Zach Dart. It's going for it all. Morley Bennett makes a great play on the ball, makes a catch, but he's down at the 1-yard line. Don's in business, but 2 plays later, Dart going to the end zone. Oh, it's picked off. That's how it ends. Charlie Cook clinches the game for Cedar. 28-21, the final of a wild one tonight.
What a game. Well, the nation's first football game was on Thursday night at Harriman High School. The Mustangs hosting the Davis Darts. And the nation's first touchdown is scored by Harriman running back Nu'u Tafisi, 7-0 Mustangs. Davis quarterback Chance Trujillo put his team on his arm and went to work, throwing back-to-back touchdowns for a 14-7 lead. Then Spencer Ferguson runs one in. 21 unanswered points by Davis for the 2-touchdown lead. Harriman found some late life. Jack White dumping it off to Zach Dern, who goes 69 yards for 6, but it was too late. Davis gets the first win of the season, 24-20.
You know, expectations are high this year for the Syracuse Titans. They're ranked 17th in our Game Night Live power rankings. The Region 1 coaches picked them to win a region title.
Their Week 1 opponent, Granger. They went 0-11 last year. They're picked to finish last in Region 2. So how do you explain what happened on Friday night in this one? Pretty wild stuff. You know, things started the way you would expect it to for this matchup. First quarter, Syracuse starting hot. Trayvon Peoples hammers it in for 6. The Lancers couldn't find any rhythm. They put it onto the turf here, and Jake Metcalf scoops. And 24 yards later, there he goes. Looks like the Titans are running away with this one, 17-0 after 1 quarter. But then the Lancers come to life. Cadius Fuimaono on the keeper. Granger cuts the lead to 10. Then Desmond Foy. He finds daylight. 48 yards to pull the Lancers within 3 points. Now, just when momentum is on their side, well, they turn it back over. The snap is fumbled. Jordan Faifai scoops, and he scores, and the Titans are back up by 10. But, you know, Granger put it into an extra gear we didn't know they had. Second half, Tavita Finau. Then the quarterback, Fuimaono, again. But the real star was the Granger defense in the second half. They shut the Titans' offense down. Granger come from behind for the win, 28-24.
Our Game Night Live Game of the Week featured number 4 Lone Peak and number 5 Timpview. Both teams considered state championship contenders in their respective classifications. Their Friday night matchup was a chance to back that up for both teams. And both teams are loaded with talent and tough on defense. But one defense would be better than the other. Lone Peak, the Knights cornerback Case Lillenquist with the hit stick. A great tackling all night by the Knights defense. It was a big night for Lone Peak defensive end John Henry Daly. Tackles for loss, batting down passes. He also had this devastating sack late in the game. Daly's being recruited by BYU, where his older brother Michael is already signed to play. Lone Peak defense is a lead. If they can get more dynamic on offense, they could be a state title contender. Lone Peak quarterback Jonah Haymuli didn't start the game, but he provided the offense with a spark in the second quarter. A nice completion to Jake Lindsley. That gets into the red zone for the Knights. Then Haymuli making plays with his legs. Leaves a linebacker in the dust, and he's this close to a touchdown. Down at the one, next play, they bring in Seale Tahi. The direct snap punches it in for the game's first touchdown. 7-0 Lone Peak. Then just before the half, Haymuli and Lindsley connect again. A great throw and catch. It's going to set up a 36-yard field goal by Benjamin Miller. Just before the half, Lone Peak up 10-0. There weren't many highlights for Timpview, but this was one of them. Cornerback Elijah Allen jumps the route. The ball's deflected. Linebacker Logan Fano has it. Can he score, though? He does, but a holding penalty cost the Thunderbirds a touchdown. That was a story all night. Mistakes by Timpview would cost them, and that Lone Peak defense would end up taking over on downs. Another star for Lone Peak on offense and defense was linebacker Seale Tahi. I mentioned him earlier. Tahi, this play a Game Night 5 nominee. The one-handed interception, he couldn't get into the end zone and make it a pick six. He just had to wait a few plays, and he would end up doing it as a running back. His second touchdown of the game, a 17-0 lead for Lone Peak. Tahi would score a third touchdown late. Timpview gets shut out for the first time since 2006. An impressive start for Lone Peak. A great game plan by Knights defensive coordinator and former BYU and Buffalo Bills standout Ryan Denny.
Our coach Denny, he really drills things through us, and we run like a gap sound defense, and just having him, leading us every week and being able to learn from him, who's in the NFL, honestly, it's just like a great opportunity, and he teaches us everything we need to know to succeed.
The machine that is Corner Canyon football, that program seems to reload its roster year after year after year without missing a beat. They've lost just once in the last 38 games. So who would be the first to attempt to knock off the Chargers in 2020? Let's just say it was a long night for Farmington. 3-year starter at Roy, Jackson Dart, is now the starting quarterback for Corner Canyon. And he finds Noah Kerr on the opening drive for the 7-0 lead. Then with a 14-0 lead in the second quarter, Dart shows off his mobility, hits the ground running, and carries it 36 yards for the 21-0 lead. Dart's second touchdown of the game made it 28-0. This one to Cody Hagan. Dart rushed for 2 touchdown passes. Passed for 3, I should say, rushed for 2, all in the first half. Corner Canyon dominated 49-21.
Mountain Ridge went 0-11 in the school's first year in 2019, seeking a win at #1 at Olympus. Not easy. The Titans are tough again. Eric Pedersen with the sack. The Sentinels return a lot of experience, and it showed. Aiden Helm launches a rocket. Jordan Day runs underneath it. It's a 69-yard touchdown, 7-0 Mountain Ridge. Ole would answer. Tommy Hogan avoids the rush and connects with Spencer Tagg. A 15-yard score, but the Sentinels take the lead for good when Helm connects with Luke Johnson. Great catch. And Mountain Ridge upsets Olympus for the first win in school history.
Well, the Brighton Bengals offense shined on Friday night against Fremont. In the first quarter, this was quarterback Gabe Curtis. Tucking and running, 35 yards for the game's first touchdown. It's 7-0 Bengals. And he's not done running. Check this out. In the second quarter, Curtis breaks through the line. We'll speed it up for you because he's going 80 yards to give Brighton a 21-7 lead. Curtis was tossing touchdowns, too. This one to Colin Edwards. Curtis with 4 touchdown passes, 2 rushing. Brighton wins at 56-42.
We thought American Fork and Lehigh would be a competitive game. We were wrong. The Cavemen dominate. Maddox Madsen, 5 touchdown passes. This one to Noah Moiaki. And then the AF defense was tough as well. Creighton Cooper's picked off. What a grab by Moiaki on defense. This was a shocking final, 55-0 American Fork.
9th-ranked Pleasant Grove visiting Riverton to open the season. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Sam Levitt airs it out to Darius Clemens. 63 yards later, PG's up 7-zip. It worked once, let's do it again. Levitt up top to Brooks Winterton. This one for 53 yards and a 28-0 lead at the half. In the third quarter, another bomb for PG. Clemens takes the short pass and turns it into a 77-yard touchdown. The Vikings open the season with a 35-7 win.
Alta hosting 10th-ranked Skyridge. The Falcons with the ball. Quarterback McKay Hillstead keeps it, and that was a great decision. Breaks a tackle. He's going to emerge out of the traffic, and he's off to the races. It was a 47-yard run, and it would set up the game's first touchdown. Hillstead, James Palmer What a play! A spectacular catch to get the score. Later in the first quarter, this play almost looks identical. Palmer does it again. 2 diving catches for touchdowns in the first quarter. Skyridge led 26-0 after one. They held on for a 33-13 road win.
All right, let's head to Woods Cross, where Westlake was opening their season. Second quarter, Brady Ross finds Oakley Slade for the 32-yard touchdown. That was the only 6 points of the half. Let's get to the fourth quarter. Ross goes to the air again. This time finds Davis in stride for a 19-0 lead. The Thunder defense was smothering. They shut out Woods Cross, coming away with that interception. Ross threw for 3 touchdowns in the 19-0 win.
Bountiful hosting Highland, a defensive battle, but one explosive play on offense was the difference in the game. Boston Melrose to Brooks Fornelius, wide open. It's a 55-yard touchdown, the only touchdown of the game. Bountiful 7-6 over Highland.
16th ranked Kearns Cougars began the season on the road against Box Elder. Box Elder kicking off after taking a 3-0 lead, and Jeff Bossa flips the score in a hurry. 85-yard return for a 7-3 Cougars lead. Then probably the craziest play of the weekend. The deep ball by Box Elder's broken up in the end zone, but the ball never touches the ground. Look at this. Dominic Thornton snags it for the interception. Charles Henderson returned a blocked field goal 70 yards for a touchdown as well. Also had a 55-yard pick six. Kearns wins 20-3. Park City lost in the 4A state championship last season, opening up at their rival Wasatch. Second quarter, Park City down 14-0. Carson Tabarachi finds Riley Finlayson. A 35-yard touchdown cuts the lead in half. Next series, Wasatch, it's Edwards finding Jaron Callum in stride. It's a 48-yard touchdown, and Wasatch led 28-7 at the half. Third quarter, after a blocked punt, Edwards and Callum hook up again. 10-yard touchdown. It's a 35-7 lead. Later on in the quarter, 4th and goal for the Miners. Tabarachi scrambling, rolling, keeping this play alive. And then at the last second, throws back across the field. Somehow, Troy De La Vega comes down with it for the touchdown. Miners picked off Edwards on the next drive, setting up this Tabarachi to Alford. 63-yard touchdown. The lead is down to 14. In the fourth quarter, though, Edwards keeps it, and he scores it from 16 yards out. 4 total touchdowns for Edwards. Park City added 2 late, but the Wasps win 49-35. You know, maybe the best athletes on the field in that game, though, weren't donning pads. We had a pair of streakers, sort of, right? They had on their undershorts and a mask, of course. Made it all the way across the field, and then keep your eye on the one on the left with the officials bearing down. Man, this kid's got some athleticism here. Look at, just clears the fence without any issues. I think coaches are maybe thinking, how do I sign this kid, right?
Aren't they out there playing football?
His partner's not so lucky, though. He gets tackled across the other side of the fence.
Sign that kid up. Maple Mountain kicking off the season against Cedar Valley. Golden Eagles took a 21-0 lead in the first quarter. It continued into the second quarter. Tyler Nelson finds Thomas Waite, and Waite cuts through the defense for the score. Then the third quarter, Nelson find Brian Bess. This is a 30-yard touchdown. Maple Mountain star in this game. BYU commit Kyson Hall. He hauled in 4 catches, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns, including this 25-yard score. The Golden Eagles dominate in their opener, 45-3.
Manti at Crimson Cliffs. Final minutes of the game where we go. Manti trailing 14-7. Templars, Jax Perry to Kent Larson. We've got a Manti touchdown. Now, instead of going for the extra point in the tie, they decide to go for 2 and the lead. Austin Cox powers it in. Templars now up 15-14. Ensuing drive for Crimson Cliffs. Tyler Brown takes a shot downfield, and Packer Butler catches in stride. He is gone. 76-yard touchdown with 1.5 minutes to go. Crimson Cliffs wins it 20-15.
That was great. We're not done. Up next, the season opener for Bingham and Weber didn't happen. We'll explain why.
And it's a Utah high school football tradition, another thrilling season opener between Dixie and Springville. Welcome back to Game Night Live. You know, every year as summer winds down and the high school football season approaches, you can count on the Bingham Miners being a contender for the state title. They've won 7 of the last 14 state championships, but before they could even kick off on Friday night against Weber, their game was canceled. KSL confirmed with the Jordan School District that 3 players on the Bingham football team had tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, no football this weekend for the Miners or the Warriors. Bingham head coach Dave Peck told us that as difficult as it was still the right decision not to play the game.
I think every coach in the state is doing the best that they can. There's some things we can control and some things we can't control. Most of the cases that we've had here at Bingham High School has been from outside sources. It came from family, friends, others, not necessarily spread among the team.
Hopefully Bingham can get back out there soon, as well as Weber. All right, Springville and Dixie faced off in the season opener back in 2006. It was a 35-8 Dixie win. The two schools have met in the season opener ever since, and they've developed an unlikely rivalry between two schools separated by 250 miles. Dixie hosting this year, Springville, with score on their very first drive. Caden Delamas to Cole Clement. And Clement gets a great block and takes it in for 6. Dixie answers. Bronson Barbin to Alexander Maycock. A short pass turns into a long gain. A 26-yard touchdown. Springville goes back to Clement for their second touchdown. Dixie led 15-12 at the half, but Springville wins their third straight over Dixie, 25-22.
Ridgeline and Pineview opened the season last year, combining for 114 points, and it was another shootout to open the 2020 season. The Riverhawks take a quick start. Jovessa Demouni hauls in the Caden Cox pass, 74 yards, and it's a 7-0 lead. Pineview would answer on its opening drive. The Panthers' Enoch Takau running all over the Ridgeline defense. He would get rewarded with a score, his first of 2 on the night. But Ridgeline's Caden Cox threw for 3 and ran for 1, and they win at 42-38. Well, the Orem Tigers have built a traditional power down in Family City, USA. Winners of 3 straight state titles, the Tigers' pursuit of a 4th begins just 2 miles down the road. Rivalry night at the Bruin Bowl between Orem and Mountain View. After a Bruins muffed punt, the Tigers give it to the big man. Tauihi Tupola, 7-0 Tigers. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. On the next possession, Micah Thea hooks up with Joe Smith on the screen pass, and he's hustling 67 yards for the score. Smith had 3 touchdowns. A week 1 statement from Orem, 51-14.
Skyview's the favorite to repeat as 4A state champs, hosting the always tough Stansbury Stallions. Students masking up. Way to go, guys. Skyview quarterback Kason Carlson going deep. Isaac Larson has a 48-yard touchdown. Skyview led 35-0. Stansbury answered with 28 straight, but they ran out of time. Skyview holds on to the 8-point win.
We have an old favorite on the way with our Game Night Live highlight reel. That's next.
The state of Utah was in the national spotlight this weekend, playing the first football games, high school football games in the entire country.
And our state put on quite a show that we've condensed for you in this Game Night Live highlight reel.
A monster matchup in Utah County. Lone Peak versus Timpview, our game of the week.
Going for the end zone, that is caught, touchdown!
Oh, get
Unbelievable.
it. They're going to say he caught that. 20, 10, I don't see any flags. Touchdown.
There's a nice throw, and he's got some room to run. He's down inside the 20.
That was absolutely fantastic.
Hey, Millie's going to keep. He's got some room to run. He's got one man to beat. He beats him.
And what a catch.
Getting double, so he's going to throw out to Thomas, and that one's up in the air and up for grabs, and it's picked off.
Makes a little jump.
Hey, Millie takes a big shot. He throws there, he's caught it.
Still on his feet, cuts back in. Bell down the sideline. How on this planet? Austin Bell, touchdown!
We're not done yet. We debut our new segment, Game Night 5, when we come back. With the start of a new season, we're starting a new segment on the show. We call it the Game Night 5.
Yeah, each week we're going to pick out the top 5 plays of the week count them down for you, so let's do it right now. The top 5 plays of week 1.
Back to his
How
left.
clutch was this in overtime? Colby White with the diving catch to keep Cedar alive. They went on to beat Spanish Fork in double overtime.
Number 4 takes us back to that Alta Skyridge game. Skyridge quarterback McKay Hillstead throws an absolute diamond. James Palmer makes the diving catch for the TD. Perfect placement, perfect catch.
Number 3, Park City against Wasatch. Let's just sit back, grab some popcorn, and watch the show. Tabarachi to Troy De La Vega. Touchdown, Park City. What a catch, what a play.
All right, this one here may be the best catch of the weekend. Offense or defense, Lone Peak linebacker Siale Tahi reaches up with 1 minute. Like Velcro's on that glove, he just snatches it out of the air for that interception. Tahi also had 3 touchdown runs in the game, but that pick there, number 2 on our list.
Odell Beckham Jr. couldn't do it that well. It's not often a touchback is a top play, but 2020 has been that kind of a year, so no explanation for how this play ended the way it did. The ball bounced around and somehow went off the back of one of the players. Thornton ends up with the interception, and the Cougars win over Box Elder. All right, week 1 is done. Time to look ahead to next weekend. Our Game Night Live game of the week on Friday takes us to Draper. Number 1 Corner Canyon hosting the Harriman Mustangs. Harriman lost on Thursday night to Davis. I think they're going to be a different team on Friday night. They'll be highly motivated going up against Corner Canyon, who dominated, as they have for a long time now, against Farmington. So we look forward to that game, Sam. What a week. It's nice.
Can't wait.
High school football.
Week 1 in the books. Can't wait for week 2 already. Let's go.
Let's do it. Can't wait till Friday. Thanks for watching.